Welcome back to Katowice, welcome back to IEM Series 10. We're here at the Spodek. The first map has been done. NaVi took it against the Brazilians, Tempo Storm, but we're on to the second one. Talking to Fallen just a second ago, he thinks they might be in with a shout at that. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do at Play TV. Please do keep in touch. Let us know what's happening. You can create your own IEM highlights with the new plays.tv app. Find that all. So then, if you want to get in touch with us at IEM, hashtag IEM, let us know where you're watching the stream from. But let's get on with the second map. For that, we go right up there to my man, Matthew.
It's an honor to be your man, OJ, and it is an honor to get ready for map number 2. Falling could be correct, and it with a shout is absolutely something that is possible because we've seen very good results from Tempo Storm on Cobblestone. I want to start with you, Lauren, because you highlighted something yesterday about their T side that has been extremely good consistently for them.
It's just their approach to it, and this is going to be the litmus test if NaVi have done their homework, right? If they have, then they'll be aware of it, and it should be pretty much a walk in the park. If they haven't, then you'll see maybe that exploit again, trying to work their way through drop, trying to get Phelps lurking up on long. Then you'll see maybe when Henny gets the AWP, okay, then they join him up there. And you see this constant kind of pressure play throughout the map, a lot of map control gained and a lot of presence towards A, which is not necessarily uncharacteristic of teams, but not as usual as maybe we've seen up to this point.
And yesterday, now mind you, you're talking about drop, they were up against Cbble, who had one of the worst halves.
Yep.
Probably of his life, but now they go up against Seized in that role, who last game had an excellent game. It has to be said at the very least.
Zeus.
Is it Zeus? I thought it was Seized. I'm sorry.
Zeus plays drop, but the problem with Zeus is he likes to peek by himself at times, so maybe that's something they can exploit. I wouldn't take too much away from that game yesterday against VP, because that was the one win they Tempo Storm has against a tier 1 team, right? If we can call VP that still. And it was a bunch of their players underperforming, not just Cbble in that game. So right now they're going up against one of the best teams in the world on Cobble. And you know, it's going to take much more than what we saw yesterday for them to have a fighting chance here. I expect NaVi to have for sure watched that game, at least Starix and probably Zeus. I think they know what they can expect in general, but there's not much Tempo Storm could have done here. I mean, they have to play the maps they're comfortable on, and Cobblestone is one of them.
Yeah, just unfortunate that it lines up with such a strong map for NaVi, just much in the same way that they also feel confident and comfortable on Mirage, and that's going to be the third map if we get to it, which is just another very strong map for NaVi. I don't really see a lot of hope in this map for Tempo Storm. I think this is going to be pretty brutal.
Talking again about Henny, though, who had an excellent game when he has arrived in this land, perhaps a factor of why they weren't so successful last week in the Columbus qualifier. Does that really give them a chance? That much of that impact player that he is, does that really give them any shot at all against Guardian?
Well, you saw. I mean, he won that duel against Guardian in the first map. He carried them through stretches, and he got them to recover at least a little bit in that first half after they started out so slow. So yeah, I mean, it can give them a little bit of a lifeline. But is it going to matter in the end? Are there going to be enough players on NaVi? I mean, this is the other thing too. He just did that in map 1. Can he do it in 2? Because it's not an easy task to do it once, you know, to begin with.
Not just that. We talked about it yesterday about Mirage and Guardian and so on. And you asked me, how do they fight against him? I said, they don't have to fight against Guardian. They just need to fight against, I mean, everyone else, right? You don't have to focus on Guardian. He will get his kills and everything. If you can shut the rest of them down, or at least, you know, some parts of the map and so on, then you can also win the game, right? So they can just play around Henny if they want to win. But I don't think NaVi cares that much. I think they're going to go for their usual stuff.
And the two players that jump to my mind who are going to be important is Bolts and Edward as well, because Edward plays pretty close to the push out as well on towards the platform CT side. Bolts was playing that pretty successfully, actually, one of the standout players when they've been playing this previously. If Edward starts winning that duel, they suddenly lose a lot of that presence and everything kind of comes undone. So I think that this could be a great map for Tempo Storm, but it hinges on a lot of factors that I don't think are going to fall into place this time.
And we were kind of nice to Edward because he did have a struggling first map without a doubt. Guys, you guys have already predicted, both of you are on 2-0, so I presume nothing has changed.
Her hope's dead at this point.
I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I'll go for it. You might as well, right?
All right, guys.
More nail in the coffin.
It's going to be a tough lesson.
Yeah, it might be, but it'll be a good lesson for Tempo Storm either way. It's their first international tournament already. The crowd, it's been a factor, but they've gotten used to it.
Can't teach you that, boys.
With that said, it's time for game 2. Can NaVi finally go further in this tournament than ever before? We'll find out right now with Henry G and Machine.
And so the test for Tempo will begin.
Keep it together,
on
you
Cobblestone.
kids.
Already firing shots. We'll see if Tempo can do the same. as Henry is joining me, and Henry, you can't help but speculate that it is going to come a lot down to tempo and that T side.
Well, this is the thing. We saw them have a remarkable T side yesterday against VP. It was like 13-2 in the first half. They looked incredibly strong. To be fair to them, well, maybe not to be fair to them, it was VP had a very weak B defense. They talked about Bialy there. He went like 0 for 14, not even fighting a single frag. Nori, very impactful player for VP, not turning up whatsoever. I don't think that's going to be the case here going into this one. Like the thing is with NaVi, historically, they actually have quite a weak CT side. It's their T side where they really come all guns blazing. They normally actually get like 5 rounds of their CT side. It's normally Guardian that carries them through those 5 rounds. The problem for me for NaVi this time, Guardian didn't really show up. It didn't have a bad game, but definitely wasn't Guardian levels, right?
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, it's kind of, when it gets to that point where you're still, consistently, 13, 14, middle of the pack, but that's not delivering because of what our expectations for Guardian. His team, however, did pull him through on Overpass, and they picked up that win rather convincingly. In the end, 16-10. Tempo, however, have to do something better here. They have to potentially start on that more aggressive side. They have to set the pace on that T side. It comes down to the knife, though, and actually quite a lot of weight here on the next exchange. It's going to be going down, and I rarely, in fact, I never cast the knife round. I'll continue to not do that. I'm not going to be that guy. But it does, of course, mean I carry a lot of weight, and Tempo do it consistently, so they will have the choice. We expect to see them go to that T side.
Yep. That's what I was hoping for. We know NaVi can be weak on their CT side, and Tempo have the potential to be this explosive terrorist team and put huge numbers on the board as well. They've done it time and time again, so we'll see whether they can deliver here. They will be starting on the T side. Definitely a favored side here, I'd say, on Cobble, depending on the matchups, but most teams will say it's heavily T-biased in the current meta right now.
What's funny is that NaVi have just said that they haven't won a single knife round here. 0 and 7 in the knife rounds, Guardians just said. Maybe they're not, that's something that they've...
Feels like James Bond.
007 007 for NaVi in the knife. However, much more success when weapons are involved, and that's what's going to happen as we do prepare ourselves for the pistol. Tempo, they fell in Overpass. They're in the quarterfinals. Some people wouldn't have expected to see them get here, and in such fashion, Yanko's saying that they'd only beaten one tier 1 team in the form of VP, discounting that win against NV as well.
Are you discounting that?
I do not. Yes, NV have certainly fallen off. There seems to be a lot of internal strife between the French roster, but I mean, we're talking about a major winning team here.
Well then, it's looked like we are underway. It's going to be Madison Steer on the CT side and Tempo Storm on the T side here. We'll have a look at the buy coming in. We can 3 sets of armor for the Ts, but let's get the energy back in the room, shall we? Should we make some noise? And let's get the second map underway here. It's the first quarterfinal. We can see 2 smokes purchased. It's going to be Lucas and Penny purchasing those, and we'll have a look at the buy for Madison Steer as well. They've got 4 sets of armor, and a CZ on Cs can be a very effective weapon in close range combat. So we'll see how this one goes down. It's looking like Tempo Storm just making their way towards B right now. The bomb's going to be there as well, just waiting to see if there's any aggression, and a boost potentially coming in towards drop down. That's not going to be happening just yet, but they are ready for it.
They are prepared, and still nothing connecting on either side. Everyone's still full on healthy, but we are going to be seeing a little bit of investment from Flame. He goes out for some information, catches a whole lot. He saw 3 players there and did a lot of damage to Henny. So step 1 in favor of NaVi, but the offensive hasn't begun yet, and Henny's still got all of that utility. Yes, he may have taken a beating, but he can invest that now, and to try and throw out that smoke. Does catch the flash onto CZ. They're going to check their corners. They don't, and that's going to cost them. The CZ just the first, though, as Tempo Storm bite back and bite back hard. It's going to be 3. NaVi then trying to forge an offensive back on in. Edward's low. In fact, he's so low he's in the ground. It's going to be Henny with the shovel. Just Zeus remains against 3 Brazilians. They're not going to let this one slip away. Henry.
Absolutely not. Just going to be Zeus now in a 3-on-1. They're taking the game towards him. He's got no bullets left in the P2000. There it is. Tempo Storm with the defensive stance to kick things off. They find the first pick, and it's actually seized with that CZ. Like I said, amazing those close-range combat situations. Normally has that spray-down capability. He only finds 1 there. Had he found 2, could have been a different story, but Tempo Storm find the refrag straight away, and we'll have a look at the buy coming in now. It's not actually a full force buy coming from NaVi. I said they're CT side on Cobble can be notoriously weak, so they're actually going for that airstrike mentality here. They're going to have the HE grenades and upgraded pistols as well. It's only Zeus that's invested in the head armor as well, so they're going to be seeing if a B attack does come in. You can see they're poised and ready with those grenades in hand, trying to do early damage here towards Tempo Storm, but they're not going to be falling for that just yet. They're going to be holding off, running off some shots through the smoke there, but Edward boosted up onto the water tree. And now it's just more of a waiting game to see if they can gain any sort of intel here. Bolt's thinking about pushing towards that smoke, but right now it's just a case of trying to bait out any sort of utility the CTs may have.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of seen that 1 HE thrown out towards drop already. 3 still left for NaVi. They're going to try and just cut them down to size, take some health off them, enabling them to pick up those shots with the Desert Eagles they have brought into the fray, a CZ and a P250 as well. Molly invested does clear off that boost.
The thing is, though, for Tempo Storm, they don't actually have anything left but a flashbang. So this is going to come down to some actual gun duels to enter a bomb site here. And you can see the CTs have heavily stacked towards B. No one actually towards A whatsoever. It's C's just in that connector area, just trying to spot out what's going on. Lucas on the other side of the map actually manages to get towards Fence, gets headshot as well. C's takes him down. And now I actually have some real decent footing going into this one. Tempo Storm now will be committing towards that B side.
And there goes the nades, and there goes Bolts. Edward hits the shot off the back of that nade released by Guardian. And NaVi, they've done a whole lot of damage with very little. C's has actually managed to retrieve the MP7 of Lucas, and you can see Tempo, they're trying to build off of that position on nade. C's does get caught with his trousers around his ankles to enable a little bit of a plant to come down. Phelps is in a prime position to catch them on the rotate here. That's going to be at least one. Will he find the second as well? There is going to be back turn. Zeus doesn't go down, though. And good God, this is going to be a real test for Tempo. They do have the positional advantage. They're going to get that bomb down. They've got weapons. Zeus still has Kevlar, and he does have that CZ.
Oh, they've managed to salvage a P90 as well, but no kids. They have to act faster. Bomb has been planted. The crossfire has been set up as well. Edward and Zeus both wrapping around that APC, trying to sneak onto the bomb site here and get the drop on towards Henny, but you can see he's stuck between. He's not really sure he's going to look, but he finds the first frag there, takes down Zeus, and that should be it. As we said, though, Edward stepping up with that P90. Just showtime now to step up.
He's going to retrieve and scavenge that AK, though, but time is becoming a factor. You mentioned no kit, and I think that is going to certainly haunt NaVi, but this is already a haunting round for Tempo. Looks like Edward will be able to pick up that kill. Has he got enough time? Surely not, he knows it. He's just going to go on a little bit of a scavenging mission, and it's going to be just the 3 for Edward, but what an impactful round from NaVi. Into the second, Tempo not going to find any pace to start things off on this T side as Natus Vincere take a lot of wind from their wings, and they're going to force them to fully rebuy into the next.
It's a very interesting round there. That's the problem for Tempo Storm when they've invested so heavily in the weaponry. They go into that round with a lack of utility there, so not able to, they expended the only couple of smokes they had right at the beginning of the round. Didn't really do anything with it, didn't gain any real estate on that upper platform area. Didn't get intel whether there was a stack going on. They sent one player towards long A. He gets dropped from a fantastic shot from Seized, and that brings it into the 4-on-5. Very uncomfortable, actually lost all of their players in that situation, but they managed to win the round. They go into this one with Galils and AKs, but have 2 smokes to work with this time, and now it's a change of setup for NaVi as well. They've got the AK, and they've done the stack towards long A. Edward with the AK in hand, he's towards drop down, but it's going to be Lucas to open things up in danger, taking down Zeus, and now Showtime trying to show his hand towards long A as well, and there it is. What a player it was, takes down Season. He should be able to double here as well, and that's going to be the round secured here. Just Flamey remaining in the 5-on-1. So a much cleaner round here for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, very quick and courtesy of Showtime. 3 for him, and then the rest just scattered amongst Tempo. They do get the initial 3, then it may not have been the most pretty, but they get the necessary 3 off the back of the pistol.
Well, this is the thing as well. The fact that NaVi didn't fully invest in that second round, it had some upgraded pistols and HEs, means they don't make the mistake we talk about time and time again on the desk is Guardian not having the AWP in that first gun round. He has it again here. It seems like they've kind of been changing their approach to these sort of rounds and the situations where you lose the pistol. So he'll be with the AWP. He normally favors towards mid and drop down, but he's going towards B this time. Maybe going to be boosted up and looking for that early frag. There's no AWP for Tempo Storm as well, but they're going to be holding up with the Galils and AKs here. And this is a big round going forward. This would actually be very effective for Tempo Storm. We know they've got such a strong terrorist half here, but can they continue the pressure?
And one of the main factors of this one is going to be Guardian, because he's going to be in a prime position. Molotovs could check that corner and cause him into a bit of a tight spot because he's gone aggressive, and that's the molly I was talking about. Now forced out, and he's going to take a whole lot of damage down to just 44. Does back away and catch a glimpse of one. It's going to be Bolts who's doing the flashbang dance in the corner. Still not going to be able to find the shot because flashbangs are saving the day yet again. Guardian caught on the retreat. Now Tempo are going to be turning up the heat a little bit here as Bolts was so effective of pushing out towards platform. That's the release of the smokes. We saw him do it against VP, but this is a different beast. This is a different foe. It will be NaVi, and Guardian's already caught one. Bolts not today, but Lucas is trying to follow suit. He's already got one, and this is looking good from NaVi. They've managed to hold back, trade well, and Flamey is going to bite the dust, but the damage is done.
Absolutely. Now it's a 2-on-2, but you can see Showtime is very low indeed. Guardian just hiding on behind the fountain here, trying to find the next frag. He's actually managed to pick up one so far, and Zeus does take down Henny now. Just going to be Showtime, left in a difficult situation. Doesn't really have much to work with, but he makes it happen. Takes down Guardian, but Zeus does get the refrag straight away there. So an interesting round. Guardian actually taking so much damage from that Molotov. I'm surprised he even got out there with his life. Manages to step up and find the first frag as they enter the bomb site there and find NaVi their first round as well. So it was a big one, but it comes down to a 1-on-1. You can see how that's affected Natus Vincire's money as well. They've got Max 7s, MP9s, a FAMAS. They did manage to pick up the AWP, but still, Tempo Storm with 5 rifle hits definitely still have some footing into it. Yeah,
and this could go from kind of bad to worse for NaVi if they do concede this round. It's going to come down to the effectiveness of that Max 7 and MP9. Guardian still has that AWP, and that's going to be such a huge factor. We saw how much pressure he seems to be able to, how much resolve he has under a lot of scrutiny from Tempo, but lots of utility invested from NaVi. That's going to be their primary focus, just keeping Tempo at bay.
Look at this, we've got a boost coming in for NaVi towards drop-down area as well. You can see that's actually going to be the MP9. The M4 as well. Guardian back towards middle this time. It's going to be Flamey that picks up that first kill with the Famis. They do take some damage for it, but that's enough for them. They do get the man advantage going forward. Zeus goes down to 8 HP, and we still have 4 players of Tempo Storm with no real control of the map whatsoever. You can see the bomb all the way almost near T spawn at this stage. They haven't really pushed towards middle. We've got Guardian very comfortable indeed towards danger. He's just still scouting and trying to work out what he can find here. A shot does come near him, but it's going to be Flamey going down to 9 HP and Zeus as well. So definitely still some options here for Tempo Storm.
Certainly, they are operating at a disadvantage, but not the best health for 2 members of NaVi. It's going to be Henny who's going to try and make an impact here. He is the one on the prowl. He wants to try and take Guardian out of the running. That is going to be good by Guardian, and hello, AWP for Henny. It feels all too familiar to this game. Happened on Overpass, and it's happened again. Henny now onto Zeus. Bit of overkill, taking that 8 HP away from him with style with that AWP, but time's a factor. 25 seconds, the bomb is finally maneuvering over towards the site, but Seas can cause havoc here. He only has the SMG, and that's going to stop that confidence dead in his tracks. They're in a great spot now. That bomb's going to be going down courtesy of Showtime, and this is a horrible position. Look at those weapons. NaVi almost realizing that this round is as good as done.
This is an absolute nightmare for them. Edward gets dropped as well. They've got an MP9 and a Max 7 to retake and find 4 kills on the terrace as well. I've been really disappointed with Guardian's positional awareness so far in this series. It seems like he's getting the frags and they're getting the opening picks and stuff like that, but then he's finding himself committed to the situation he just doesn't have to be in, right? He could be falling back to the site, holding a very defensive stance on that point, but there we go then. The frags are exchanged. Seas takes down 1, but it's instantly replied by Bolton. That's a disappointing round for NaVi to lose as well. It's a full reset coming in. This is an absolute nightmare after winning the first gun round. And that's all coming down to Guardian, that long A position. You know what? Like I said, it's fall back to the bomb side. Make the T's work for it. It's going to be an absolute blunder for NaVi here, but...
Not forgetting as well that round that they did win was down to a 1 man left, and so their money really couldn't be more crippled at this point in time. He is going to preserve that AK, though, gifted to him by Bolts. And so that's going to be something. But this is the positional advantage, disadvantage you were talking about. Guardian kind of caught off. There was no one there to hold his back.
It would make sense if you had someone in danger watching his back. That's absolutely fine. Go aggressive, like keep taking the game to them and find another pick. But when you've got absolutely no one with you and you're actually not really sure what the control of middle is like, that's a really questionable decision. And we can see it's actually a force buy coming in from NaVi now. They're going all in, Alex. They're going to be going for an M4, using that AK they saved. And I'd normally say if they managed to salve an AWP on Guardian, that would be possible. He can be an absolute monster in those situations. But this is going to be another tricky one. An MP9 and 2 rifles.
And I'm looking at the lack of utility as well. There is 0 to hold back Tempo. And you know the power of Molly can hold, you know the power of a flashbang, but nothing for NaVi. They do have that 1 kit as well. Flame, you keep your eyes locked on him if this round does go that far. But again, the same situation as the previous round. Tempo have taken that bomb very, very passively. They don't plan to commit anywhere just yet.
Well, this is the thing.
Getting a feel for NaVi.
Yeah, well, they got the bomb towards middle right now. They're seeing if anyone's trying to find a pick here. They know the money's been absolutely ruined here for NaVi. They know they may have an AK saved, but I don't think they'll be predicting this full force by coming in with an M4 as well. So this could be interesting.
How often do we see NaVi forcing on rounds like this?
Quite a lot, actually. They're the masters of ruining their own economy on the CT side. The games they lose is not a common trend we talk about on the desk, is how they actually lack some discipline sometimes, just taking the eco on the chin. But regardless, it would have been double eco anyway, Alex. They had an AK to work with, right? So it works. It's definitely viable. It's just whether they win this round, they'll be on a full eco if they don't. So let's see what they can do with it. Guardian will be pushing in towards upper B here on the platform. At least gaining intel. All 5 players for Tempo Storm towards A. Just slowly dissecting that area and actually clearing out long as well.
Every step Guardian takes on B, Tempo take on A, and Phelps. Okay. Just hands out a haircut to C. He's all gone. Flamey in response, but Tempo are going to be all over this like a rash. Just 2 remain, and that's the 2 with just pistols. It's going to be the Deagles for Guardian and Edward. What impact can they possibly make with that one? Because everything is going up for Tempo Storm in this one. And you can even see 3 letters from Phelps. I think he surprised himself with that shot.
Did you see it? It was a jumping shot of an AK over the fence as well. That's like insane. Like he just jumped up to like kind of scout it out, fired 1 bullet, and it took his head off. That was pretty nutty. But Edward and Guardian remain, and like I said, this round is a difficult one for them to swallow. They did fully invest into it. They'll only be getting $1,900 next round, so still potentially could mean another 2 ecos coming in here, Alex. We'll see how they decide to go forward. Definitely won't have that orb, and if they do decide to buy the round after this one, but we'll see how we get into this. 5-1 now in favor of Tempo Storm. We said they had a strong terrorist side, and that's proving to be correct so far.
Guardian's going to be given something. How much are they going to allow him to take from this one, though? Bolts is there, and he's going to be able to trade that Galil for his teammates. AK-47. So 5-1 is going to be the score here. This is our second map in a best of 3, our quarterfinals, the first of its kind here in the Spodek, and the crowd already is lying in wait for more of the same. They've already seen Phelps hitting madness on towards the A site in just the prior round, and now this is going to be what you were hoping for. It is going to be that kind of pure eco, just the P250 and that preserved Kevlar.
So for Guardian to even afford an AWP next round, he needs to find 1 kill here. He's got the P2000 and he needs that extra $300 just to boost on to get a glass cannon. So that's what he's hoping for this round. They have got Edward of the Desert Eagle, but not really much else to work with. They really couldn't justify a single purchase here. So Bolts could be aware of the situation. Does jump over. There's a gap in the smoke though. Seas can maybe do something with this. They need to be careful as Bolts will be taking him down here. Nice face, good communication there from the teammates. And they're going to be in a 5-on-4. And this B-bomb site is fully open now. You can see it was a stack towards the A site. And they should be smoking off and getting the bomb down momentarily.
Same situation, other site. NaVi this time forced to have to go back in towards that B site. They stacked false twice. They stacked on B in the prior, and the bomb went down on A. And now it is going to be exactly the same this time. Bomb planting instantaneously. Lucas is going to be the one doing that. NaVi, they do just have absolutely nothing. You mentioned already. It's more of a storyline of can Guardian get 1 kill?
That's what he
needs. Get those 300.
Well, I'm sure someone may be able to drop. No, they actually won't. They said Guardian to buy an AWP, he needs to find a kill. And it's looking like he's in T-spawn. He's trying to do what he can. It's going to be Flamey that finds 1. That's still not enough. And it's going to be a 4-on-3 now. Guardian is still edging towards T-spawn. This is the area he's trying to hope someone comes scouting. I like this though. On top of the toilets. Normally we see people kind of hanging out in there. But this time it's just going to be on top. So let's see how disciplined Tempo Storm are going to be with this one. Will they be hunting for frags here, or will they just be saving as a group?
Those toilets always give me horrible flashbangs of music festivals. Flashbacks? Rather not flashbangs.
Flashbangs.
I'm in CS mode, man.
Okay.
But there we go. That's another for Tempo. And they didn't have to pay too much of a heavy price. Just Showtime gone. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And another much-needed round on this T side. We know how effective they can be. You highlighted that their CT side can have some holes for NaVi at this point.
They normally rely heavily on Guardian carrying them. Like,
right.
He's the one in crazy clutch situations, opening up the rounds, and then...
Is that with an AWP as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
He needs the AWP to control this one. They rely so heavily on him. In this situation, they're still not out of it yet. Like I said, they normally get about 5 rounds on their CT side anyway. Like they have, as long as they hit that sort of level, they've got enough to work with. Their T side's so strong going forward. So it's still not got to the point of no return yet for NaVi, but Tempo Storm definitely giving themselves a good cause there. And you see Edward going down to 2 HP. Grenades landing perfectly on him, and all 5 players committed towards B for Tempo Storm. They'll be committing any second now.
Yeah, and you can see already that he's going to have to finally finish the job. It's going to be Phelps who does so, and more. 2 for him very early on into this one. They are going to get their feet singed but a little, and only 2 remain on the CT side. This round is over before it even began. Look at that. Phelps' 2 kills have guided Tempo into this 7th round against that fully bought up NaVi. No AWP was present for Guardian. He's already gone. And actually, he's just lingering on the edge of that smoke. 2 players have walked past him.
They need to save these M4s at this stage. Like that's all they can really hope for the next round. You can see 1 player is in towards T-spawn. That's Zeus, but seized. Oh, no. He's got a kit as well.
Don't you pull a snacks on us, Henny. He's going to be the wise man. He's the one that's going to be staring at that side. He's going to hear the sound. Seized? Okay.
I didn't want to hype that up too much.
No, I was
in the stadium, right?
I was so
quiet. Make it too crazy. But definitely an interesting opportunity. We saw it in a 5-on-1 yesterday with snacks, of course, but that's the thing. I normally would go crazy in that situation, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't want it on the ruin.
We were both biting our tongues so much, and Henny, fortunately, wiser than FaZe.
You always have to have 1 player watching the bomb, right? Like, FaZe gave his prime example of how bad that can go for you. It's so demoralizing to lose those situations. After Phelps stepped up so massively entering the bomb side there, but imagine if it happened again, a 5-on-2 in that sense, but that would have been absolutely nuts. We have got a pause coming in from NaVi now. And this is the discussion point. NaVi are probably having, and I'd like us to have it as well. You saw what happened when they went for that force before. We saw that they managed to bring it so damn close. Do they do it again in this scenario? They've got around that 3K mark. And a lot of people... They get $2,900 this round. So I think take the eco here. They have got the M4, which is tempting to force buy into it.
That's what I'm worried about.
Right? But I think, like I said, as long as they get to the 5 rounds, they're okay here. So I would say wait until you get Guardian back on that AWP, get a nice, healthy buy here, see what we can do with Zeus here. In terms of money, like, Tempo Storm are pretty much high rolling right now. They've got 10K on Henny, 5K on Showtime, and 7K on Phelps as well. So they're absolutely fine. Like, if they can just do a little bit of damage and do something with it, I say this round's almost a throwaway. And maybe save the M4 on Zeus. That would definitely help bump up the bank accounts for next round. And you can see they are actually going to be doing that approach as well. CZ coming out for Redwood, and they will be going for a more conservative approach, which is definitely the right option here.
Okay, looks like the call has been made, and often the decision is an interesting one when it comes off the back of a pause, especially a pause when you're likely to eco afterwards. Some people say, you get that done and dusted, and then you call that pause.
Sure.
And see that as
Well,
the
at this point, I
preferable
think they're just trying to slow down the momentum of Tempo
Yeah.
Storm. They've got full control of the economy right now. As I said before, Guardian needed that one frag and he could even get an AWP. He saw how it affected them. Phelps is walking into the B side. They didn't even have to work for it too hard, to be honest. The grenades did so much damage towards Edward. He fell back to the site. Easy kill on him. A nice shot from Phelps to open it up, and the round, like you said, was over before we'd even got to the 20-second mark. He's got in 5-man commitment, contact play, just controlling that money situation, and it's just a pleasure to watch these guys hit their shots. Very good fundamentals in terms of the basics of Counter-Strike, making sure they're staying as a group when they enter and commit to bomb sites. There's refrags there, and sometimes when the players are hitting shots like that, you don't even need to rely on that. So very impressive so far. And let's have a look at the buy. Looking at the pause will be stopped now. We have got Zeus on that M4A1, and Edward's actually committed with a little bit of head armor there, but that's fine. He's still got about 2k in the bank, so he'll be able to do something with that. It's interesting why you'd go for a head armor, though, against AK-47s, I have to say.
Things are falling a little quiet here in the Spodek. Is the crowd still here? That's the question we're asking, as they're going to be watching Tempo Storm continue to try and pick up that heavy advantage on this T side. They're going to be hungering for this one. And now, NaVi are taking a big step in the right direction. That's Phelps gone. Phelps was so influential on that platform area before.
As I was saying, how good their fundamentals of trading frags were. It seems like Phelps got a little bit carried away there and gets taken down without reply as well. It's Flamey that capitalizes with the CZ and gets the man advantage. And C's trying to salvage the weapon, I think, just now. But we'll see what Tempo Storm can do. Definitely still have the advantage going into this. But there it is. It's going to be C's to get a second as well. Bolts does find one. Lucas finally takes down C's as well. 3-on-3. No weapons really gathered for NaVi so far. Just Zeus on that M4 he saved from last round. But I'd assume now Tempo Storm just get together, get in that 3-man formation. They still have 3 smokes, Molotovs as well. Do a couple of basic smokes. Guardian, though, this is dangerous. He's picked up an AK, and he actually been able to get out with it as well.
Yeah, so this round, I mean, it started with an M4 and a CZ. We've seen the impact that CZ has made already, but now an AK in the hands of a very influential player. Zeus can do a whole lot with as well. He has got a flashbang and time down to 35. Tempo, they're committing towards B. There is only one man to receive them currently. It's an unarmored Guardian, but he does have something with his arsenal. And can he take down Showtime? The answer is no. Now just Zeus and Edward. Make it just Zeus, because Henny's doing what Henny does best with the AWP. But Zeus, he's not out of this one yet. Not out of the running. He did preserve this from the previous round. And now he's only got 2 to find. He's going aggressive. He knows he needs to make this a 1v1, but Lucas is too wise. That's going to be 2 for him in the round, and an 8th for the Brazilians. Look at the money as well. They're making a whole lot of bank. They're making a whole lot of sick Skrilla.
Don't start saying that. It doesn't suit you, Alex.
It really upsets me. I'm sorry. Double AWP's coming out. It looks like NaVi are looking for an answer here.
Well, this is the thing. Obviously, we talked about this before the game. Do we predict a double AWP that are coming from NaVi? I normally say when they get in these sort of situations, they need a change of pace. They need someone to start stepping up. C's is definitely a very capable AWPer as well. Guardian, back to his old tricks here towards middle, trying to find that first bit of intel. There are going to be players there, but they're hiding at the moment. He does show his presence with the shot through the door, but doesn't land anything just yet. We have got C's on the other side of the map. He's going to get towards Chicken Coop and just set up a turret there and see if he can lock down any players coming in, which has been a problem on the upper platform.
Yeah, this round is going to be 2 duels. It's going to be Flamey trying to hold drop, and it's going to be Henny trying to challenge out that Coop AWP. Here comes duel number 1. Flamey throws out that flash. This could be good. He actually forces them back. However, here comes the response. Bolts and Phelps are going to push together, or are they? They are keeping him backed up, keeping him anxious, keeping the calls very, very tight. Just look at that. They know where 2 members of NaVi are, clearly. Spotted out him, and now with just 1 minute left.
It's interesting that Flamey's actually playing the drop-down area before. It was like a heavy area of contention and a massive hole to plug, actually, for NaVi. It seemed like they were losing most of their frags there in previous games. It's him playing that position now, but as we said, those C's facing for the second time there. He got tagged in the first exchange, and he goes again, and Henny capitalizes once more and finds Tempo Storm. It seems like time and time again, I'm saying that, getting them the opening frag, and now they're going to be committing 5 players towards the site, and it's now up to NaVi to step up. Is Edward going to be the first player to have the confrontation here?
Or is it?
Okay, they're just doing actually.
Oh, they flick the switch,
yeah.
and now NaVi actually seem to have a great read on it. I say NaVi, look who is there. It's going to be Guardian, and he does shut down Henny. 25 seconds. This is a big call made by Tempo, but they are wrapping from the other side. They've gone through drop. Phelps was battling for control of it for so long, and he's only going to get the 1. Bolt was present as well, though. 15 seconds. This is actually the clock working in Navi's favor and quite heavily. He needs to check these corners fast. Showtime's going to meet Zeus, and he's going to meet his demise as well. 2 remain. Lucas is trying to break through. Flamey has saved the day, and this is surely going to be it for Bolts. Edward just has to survive, just has to keep his heart beating, and he will, as NaVi have got that second on the board.
There it is. It was definitely an uncomfortable round. They've definitely one they didn't really get going to, as Caesar dropped first, and he was the one refacing, trying to find that first frag there. It's actually Tempo Storm that get it, and they actually changed up their pace. We looked like they were setting up for a BXQ, which would have worked perfectly, actually. It would have locked out the CTs there on the bomb site. Just one player waiting for them underneath the platform, but they went back into the A split. That's where Guardian was waiting for them. Top of middle, hits that first shot, and locks down the round at that stage. It definitely got interesting, but finally now NaVi getting their second round.
What instigates something like that, having such control of one site and then just turning tails? It's such little time left.
It's just one of those things, it's like a fake, right? So they're trying to show heavy presence, get the rotations coming in towards the B site, and then they hit A with the split. So it was definitely an interesting idea, but sometimes the simple ones are the most effective.
And I mean, you've got two members of NaVi on $0.50 for Flamey. This could be that second hard reset that we know NaVi are going to be fearing at this point.
Definitely. We lost a lot of players
Edward
as well.
Pressured out by that Molotov from Bolts, but there's fortunately a support framework there. It was Flamey, and now he's on the hunt, going aggressive, and things are looking up.
They do get the first frag as well, and going to be getting out alive. So that's a nice aggressive play there for Flamey. Going for that upper platform, and sees he's been boosted up and dropped down as well. He's taken out Lucas and has got vision of the bomb. So 5 on 3. This should be a round completely tied up here. They've got full information, can justify rotations. But we can see Tempo Storm actually with some heavy presence towards long A, looking to see if there are players remaining towards the A bomb side. That's going to be Zeus. So he's just looking for the flank right now. He doesn't want to overcommit and rotate to the bomb. He just wants to make sure his teammates are covered. We'll see what Tempo Storm can bring to the table here. Still have the AWP on towards Henny, and he's the one kind of just scouting out for rotations. And here we go, Phelps challenging C's. Who's going to get the better? It's actually going to be Phelps. Takes a lot of damage, but he does find the kill.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen them do a whole lot towards there, or invest a whole lot. I shouldn't not do a whole lot, quite the opposite actually, but oh, Henny catches Guardian on the drop. That's huge. As all of a sudden Tempo can start to surge towards A. It's going to be Zeus, the welcoming party. The rotate comes in from B. Flamey and Edward are ready to try and catch this cross, but the cross has already happened, ladies and gentlemen, and now Tempo, they've got an opportunity, but just 10 seconds to seize it. He needs one kill. It's not going to happen. Showtime, the bodyguard, does deliver, and he delivers in full. Two members of NaVi for this retake, and Henny's about to catch Edward. Surely he does, and this is going to be another tough pill for NaVi to swallow, another reset of their economy. And Tempo, they looked like they were limping at the start of that round.
That's crazy. I can't believe that actually Flamey made the play. They get the bomb down, sees the drop down boost as well. And it's just a case of, again, not falling back in those key situations. Yes, you have the bomb, but you're by yourself. If you die, once again, there's no one there to get the refrag with you. So C's committing to that situation. He does get dropped, and it's Henny coming back in as well, finding that amazing shot of the Guardian as he rotated towards balcony. We just have Flamey left now. If they can find the kill on him, that'd be great. It means we've got a full reset coming in, and NaVi not being able to save anything. So they get $1,400 into the next round, looking like they will save the M4A1, but like you said, hard reset coming into this one. Potentially could mean 2 rounds of Tempo Storm. And here's the shot on your screen once again. I think this is the Guardian rotation.
Yeah, this is just
surely
the big drop from Guardian. He was trying to reposition.
That's so sick.
Oh, that is madness.
Yeah, this guy, we were wondering whether he could actually perform on the big stage, and he's been delivering this series so far. So many influential kills there. So just Flamey with a weapon now, trying to do what he can towards danger, but Tempo Storm going to be fully aware of the money situation. Let's be taking things a little bit slower here. Actually, Phelps going for that upper platform control. But not overcommitting just yet. We have seen him drop to the CZ before.
Yeah, and actually Guardian's going to be the one with his number or not. Nice work from Phelps, and he didn't take any damage as well. That's probably the most effective trade we've seen from Tempo in a while. Sometimes damage does get done, doesn't matter what weapons are in the hands of NaVi, but there they go again. Bolts clearing out alongside Phelps. This duo have been working platform weapons or not. And this feels like 10, and a very neat and tidy 10 as well. Flamey and Seized do still have a chance to take something out of this one. Take a weapon, take an AK. He's holding that tight angle, and Bolts is not falling for any of these games.
Yeah, wait for the smoke to dissipate, then you can make your move. He's obviously aware that maybe CD's there, and it's actually Phelps that will get the drop. Flamey now discovered with his weapon. He's the last player remaining against 4 angry terrorists here, and Bolts is waiting for him to face. And actually, Flamey capitalizing that situation. Still wants more for this as well. Gets the third, and actually makes it quite a convincing case here as we go into a 2-on-1.
Yeah, no kit. Time going to be becoming a factor, and there's one coming from behind. Henny's playing the kind of aggressive position towards drop. That's going to be close quarters. It's a very tough shot to hit, but fortunately Showtime saves the day. Flamey, though, keeping Tempo on their toes with 3 when it felt like he wasn't going to get a thing. The only weapon preserved, and he makes good use of it.
So here's an interesting storyline for you. We go into round number 13. I talked about Guardian being the player that carries his team and makes sure their cobble halves are very successful, and he's finding the picks here. He's actually on 3 for 11 right now. He's at bottom of the scoreboard. He's had a really bad day in the office here. They're giving him the AWP once again, but 10 for 2, it's another really weak buy. They've got CZs, an M4, a FAMAS, no kits, very, very little utility. And Guardian on an AWP once more. Hasn't really shown too much presence on this map so far, but this is a big round for them. Like I said, 5 required just to be comfortable going to the second half, but Tempo Storm still in the driving seat as we enter round number 13.
And Bolts has to be careful. He is kind of currently carrying that bomb, but Tempo have got other plans, and it is not towards the site that Bolts is currently locked in on. This is going to be that slow play we saw. They try and draw out, push back those CTs on the A site. But I say CTs, it is indeed not plural, because they have made quite the stack towards where the bomb's location. Guardian on the hunt.
Well, at least he has information now that no one's on upper platform. It means some CTs can be rotated towards A. You can see that happening right now. We have got Zeus ready. The problem is they haven't got flashbangs to really go in and face these positions. Lucas taking down 2 kills there with a nice crouch spray, and that's going to open up the side. They're actually splitting B here, going in straight towards Connected. It's definitely unorthodox as they go through the smoke. Guardian finds one. They're now isolated towards drop down. They know exactly where he is. You see 2 players waiting for him, and he's unable to land his characteristic flicks there. Normally a shot he would hit. And it's going to be Edward remaining, and Henny with the no-scope finishes things off. 11 plays 2 now, and you would think the money's still in a desperate situation for NaVi. They've actually got $2,500 average on the team, and we knew they had a good terrorist side at Tempo Storm, but did we think it was going to be this strong?
That strategy as well, I mean, basically, he counted on Lucas hitting those shots. He catches 2, draws the rest of the CTs, immediately hitting that panic button, like, we need to get over to A. Bolts happily walking into B, and gifted what feels like a very well-earned round for Tempo. And you're right, the question you asked was, you know, did we expect it to be this good? I don't know if Tempo did. Things have gone so well for them, 11-2, completely toying with Navi's money.
Absolutely, every time they get a round, then it's hard reset straight after. They've only got 2 so far after losing the pistol, so another pistol around here, just going to have CZs and Desert Eagles, but C's with something to work with here. It's Phelps that gets dropped again, but there's the refrag we're looking for. This time it's answered back straight away, and Tempo Storm gain the advantage still.
Yeah, they're going to go hunting an old Bolt, quick snap onto Zeus. That was an opportunity to bring it into a 3 versus 3, but, well, damn near close. Just 2 points of health for Bolt, but that's 2 points for every kill he's picked up.
Yeah, so I don't mind people dropping that upper platform area. It just has to be answered back. He can't be isolated by himself, and it's actually going to be Edward that takes down Bolt, and there's no reflect this time. As it goes to come down to a 3-on-3, we have got Guardian in towards drop down. Edward doing massive work here, gets the first kill, can't find the second there as it comes down now. Henny and Showtime remain. Bomb has been dropped as well. We can see Showtime is just towards middle, looking for any rotations, but both CTs are on their half of the map. They've still got 40 seconds to play over as well. You can see Henny just poised and ready to see if anyone will jump up to the upper platform. It has to be a very audacious move, I have to say.
30 seconds and the bomb still hasn't been retrieved. All that damage that Edward has done is actually really bringing this round down to the wire. So finally, Henny does pick it up. He hasn't moved a muscle since he picked up that kill with the Tech 9.
This was the problem for them on Overpass. They'd let the clock run down so low that they were just in these panicky situations. This could be a prime example right now. Guardian just taking them down. It's going to be 15 seconds remaining now. It's going to be the rotation coming in from Flamey. Bomb will be planted here, but still, Flamey has an opportunity to take this one. He's going to have time to get himself in a decent position.
Showtime and must-win round. Everything pointing to him. He's even got a Molotov if he needs to play that clock any further. Nothing for Flamey, really. $700 investment. Can he really hit this shot? No, he can't. Back turned and head gone. That's going to be another for Tempo. Showtime saves it, but whew, Edward keeping things a little spicy. Absolutely. Picking them up with the Deagle. Going aggressive on platform, really kind of bringing the issue, forcing the issue. NaVi still only with 2 to show for it, though. And I mean, you look at that scoreboard, 6 C's, 6 Edward, 5 Guardian. And then on the other side of things, we've got a whole lot of double digits. Henny and Showtime leading the fray, though.
They've just been out of it in terms of the economy this game. Every key round they go into, they have very little money. Then the rounds they do win comes down to a one-on-one. They get the hard reset, and this game's just spiraled out of control for them. So we go into the last round here. Guardian changing the pace, though. Steps up on the upper platform, finds Phelps. And now this is a chance for them to actually just fall back and play the man advantage. In the past, they overcommit to these situations and not having an actual opportunity to work as a team. This is much better now. Guardian hitting some key shots. Zeus helping out as well. It's going to be a 5-on-2.
Yeah, and it's going to very soon be a 5-on-0 if Edward does emerge through the smoke right now. There goes 1, and there goes 2. Final round goes the way of NaVi, and it will end 12-3, just getting a little bit of a step in the right direction. But, I mean, Tempo Storm, a lot riding on this pistol. If they could start, as they mean to go on, pick up that pistol round, they're so damn close to home, so damn close to that Mirage game.
If they get this pistol, we're in for a hell of a game.
I thought you were about to say we're in for a third map. You were like, I'm not committing to that.
Here's the thing, like, you just know NaVi are going to win this pistol. They'll be getting back into this slowly but surely, and if they don't, they're going to find something in the second round. They'll do a force buy. Tempo Storm, they've got a lot of rounds here. but they haven't been guaranteed this map by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, NaVi normally do post poor numbers on their CT side. Never normally this poor. It's been Guardian's been completely missing off the server, but here we go then. We go into the second half. 4 sets of armor for NaVi and 2 flashbangs actually. So we can see a P250 on towards Guardian and Tempo Storm with 2 HEs actually waiting for that execution to come in towards the B side and then drop the nades in. And it's going to be fast drop down control actually coming in from NaVi and potentially an A split coming in.
All eyes on Edward as well. Mr. Pistol of old isn't going to try and make too much of an impact yet because Bolt's actually, yes, he paid a heavy price, but that's going to be one. Bolt follows suit and things are going very well for Tempo. They have the numbers. Flamey's taken a heavy hit and there go NaVi biting back. They do manage to keep things level, but for how long? That's beautiful stuff from NaVi and all of a sudden a flurry of frags brings home the pistol. The crowd like it and Flamey picks up 3 to make such an impact. We said NaVi a must-win pistol and you better believe they've done it.
Yeah, now we have a game in our hands. We'll have a look at how Tempo Storm go into this one. For me, this force buy, I'm not a fan of it. This is the situation when you've got this huge bed of rounds. We talk about this most games when casting this kind of level of play. You have a huge bed of rounds, you've got 12 for you're the underdog going into this. Why not just guarantee yourself that first gun round to have a full buy? Don't make the same mistakes NaVi did and have very little to play with, don't have the AWP, etc. But Henny's gone for the full eco, so that's getting something to take away from this. Phelps and the scout looking to cause some damage here. We'll see what he can bring to the table. As he is currently on the upper platform trying to find any sort of presence here. He takes a lot of damage, not landing a shot just yet.
Yeah, he's actually kind of almost baited the retreat because it looks like Showtime wanted to go for something there. But this is again one of those instances of when NaVi you invest so heavily into that second round, you really cannot slip up. You can't lose any of those rifles and Tempo want to take as much as they possibly can away from them. The bomb's loose. NaVi showing no signs of wanting to plant soon.
Again, still no one to drop just yet. Time ticking away as we hit the 1 minute mark, but Tempo Storm trying to be as passive as they can. Crossfire set up across the map here. You can see Henny right now being baited in, hoping he can do something with his silenced USP. But it's NaVi looking like they're going to try to control long A, just dissecting it piece by piece, but Guardian could be walking into the Lion's Den here as that crossfire is set up.
Yeah, I mean, what's most notable to me is C's just scouting out the wrong side with that pistol. Fortunately, though, it's going to be easy for Guardian. He's going to get 1-0 and a second using that rifle. I did, of course, mean the MAC-10. C's just lingering around drop. But NaVi do walk in. Oh, and Showtime is going to take that SMG away from him. It's a small price to pay, though, because that bomb's going down, and Tempo are indeed in trouble, probably wanting to preserve that Kevlar. A retake with what they've got is almost impossible.
Yeah, we saw an overpass. NaVi going directly against that mentality. When they actually lost the bomb side, the bomb gets planted, all 5 players still alive for them. They actually decided to rotate all the way through T-spawn, all the way to long, and give away every upgraded pistol and armor they had. This is the correct move to make. When you've actually, you know the round's no longer viable for you, just fall back and set up crossfires and try and keep the scouts, and they've salvaged a MAC-10 as well, and obviously Lucas with the CZ. Definitely something to take to the next round and try and cause some damage there. So they're going to be trying to stay alive there at all costs.
They are on the hunt. You know, despite these AKs, they feel like they can win out these duels, and they certainly will. Zeus 1, Lucas makes his whereabouts known. He's gone as well. They're taking everything away. That's both of the Kevlars snatched away by Zeus. And Phelps is just clutching onto that SSG like, I can do something with this, I promise.
Well, this crossfire wasn't actually as effective as I thought it would be. It actually would have been better for a player to be APC perhaps and trying to get the attention as much as possible, then hiding. The fact that the angle he was holding didn't really help Henny out at all. Guardian's coming out and getting a free kill on him. Didn't really pay off too much, but there we go. Phelps does manage to take the scout into this round. It'll be interesting to see where he decides to take it. Looking like it's going to be B once again, but NaVi will be sending 4 players towards that area, and we've actually got Seized going aggressively towards middle, has full control of it as well. We'll be getting lots of information. He'll be calling there's no stack towards middle. It might be a full B stack going forward. It doesn't matter though. Edward takes down 2. Guardian chiming in as well, and that's going to be the round secured as Bolts and Henny remain.
Yeah, and I mean, not meant to make too much of an impact. Henny does just get rid of that, scratch that perfect round away as he does find Flamey. The top fragger currently for NaVi, 16, sees the star of overpasses now residing upon the bottom. Guardian has definitely found a lot more on this T side at the start of the things. Score then 12-6. Tempo are going to be bringing an AWP to play. It's going to be the battle once again between these two. It's been such a fun story to follow. The new blood versus the old guard.
Not a single kit. I would have preferred Bolts to just not go with the head armor here, but they're going to be going in with Famus's M4s and the AWP on Henny. That's the good news for them. He was full eco in the second round, but C's keeping his MAC-10, looking to build that cash, and against 3 unarmored players, well, head armor I should say, that actually becomes a very viable weapon all of a sudden, especially in close range combat towards drop down, for example. We'll see what they can do here. So far, not really much to report as Guardian is slowly making his way towards middle. Will be facing towards the top, you would assume, as he cleans out danger.
Process of elimination for NaVi at this point. Quite reminiscent of what we saw from Tempo when it does come down to just kind of holding that danger, holding doors. And here they go, slowly working their way through. Flaming Seas, most notably, are still making a whole lot of noise towards that drop, and B, finally, they do seem to be kind of making a decision to commit. And there goes Henny, amid draws blood. Edwards overextending towards long. This could be a second. He tags him up as well. That's going to be Zeus now down to 17. Henny's done a lot of damage, but he's also taken a lot as well. Still breathing. And the bomb from NaVi is orientating its way towards Ace. He's just done it. He's taken that head off Phelps with the MAC-10 elsewhere.
That's the thing, I said it could be a very dangerous proposition with that MAC-10, but he's managed to upgrade it to a FAMAS now as well. So that's great aggression though from Showtime, pushing in towards those B halls, catches Guardian unaware as well. So now comes down to the 4-on-3, Zeus on low HP as well. We see the T's with not really much control here. Flamey does find a kill on towards Lucas, but still need to recover the bomb here. They're not aware of this CT's position. It's going to be Showtime. Should be taking this kill down. Got a little bit scary there, but he manages to secure it as we go into the 3-on-2 with just 10 seconds remaining now. There's literally no chance to find the bomb. They need to be finding these kills.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen because it does line up 4 for Showtime in that round, and that does bring back the 13th. That's what Tempo needed. That's just how they plan to finish, as we do see the initial 3 go the way of NaVi off the back of the pistol, and now Tempo are at that crucial crunch time. That 16 will come a whole lot easier if they can avoid that, well, the trap that NaVi fell into, that hard reset that we were talking about. This is now a crucial must-win round for Tempo if they want to head to Mirage quickly.
That's a really gutsy play from Showtime. They're pushing in towards the B hall, reacting after losing that first player, and he actually manages to pick up 4 as well. Drops the bomb, and like you said, no time to play for. But here we go. Henny going aggressive, of course, towards that upper platform. Doesn't find anything this time, and Flamey probably bowing out of that after hearing the orb shell coming in his direction. Guardian on the other side of the map towards long A. This is where he got bested before, but they're going to be trying to just find this first pick as he is covering a teammate who starts to make their advance.
Henny's everywhere. Last round long, now platform.
That's the trick to being a top AWPer, being unpredictable and getting in the heads of your opposition.
We'll see if NaVi are going to be falling for his wicked games, though, as it is going to be that 3-2 split from the T side. They're trying to keep CTs locked in position. The numbers most definitely are stacked up towards B. Look at that, 4-1 bolts. If he goes down quickly, this is going to be a bit of a snowball effect. There's still so much time to play with bolts. It's so close quarters. He could go down. You can see his position here. He's got a whole lot to watch on his own, and Showtime's still invested towards drop.
It's a really difficult time for Bolts here. He doesn't really know where the T's may be coming from, and doesn't have much in terms of backwards. Well, it's an A-split coming in now. It's going to be Flamey coming out the window. He does take down Showtime, and now this A-split will be very difficult for the CTs to hold off.
What can you do, Bolts? Nothing. Zeus beheads him with the AK, and now just Lucas and Henny, brothers in arms, against the world and against 4 from NaVi. Surely just going to be trying to keep this weaponry here, and maybe take something from an overextending NaVi player, but that will be 7 for NaVi.
Indeed, a very efficient...
Goodbye, economy.
A very efficient A-split they're coming in from NaVi. They get control of long A, and they actually find the control of drop down as well. One player waiting on the other side of the window, he gets taken down. A-split from Connector, just Bolts left in a horrible position towards the fence. Like I said, when you're in that kind of place, you need to be, if you're there on the bomb side by yourself, I prefer you to be in a much more passive position, just holding maybe on the bomb side, just trying to get a call off, and then you have an opportunity to stay alive, right? He's in the position where he needs to find at least 1 kill to do anything with it. It's Guardian taking down Henny there, and just poor old Lucas remains now, and like he said, after winning that first gun round, it does give the CTs a hard reset, so now some foundations for NaVi to build upon. Like, Tempo Storm still have 2 rounds to go before they hit 15, so like I said, NaVi very strong on the T side here, still not out of this yet.
Did you see that synergy from NaVi baiting out the shot from Henny as well? There was a flash, followed by someone jumping across, enabling Guardian to go for a safe pick, taking that AWP out of the hands of Tempo. It's a really big pickup. You can't kind of talk about that enough. And I'm looking at Flamey. Sorry, the reason I kind of stopped mid-sentence was because I was looking at Flamey. He's taking a leaf out of JW's book.
Sawn off.
Bringing them the sawn off against a lot of unarmored Tempo.
Yep, pretty much the only situation this gun is viable in, and you can see why it's a problem sometimes. Doesn't really work out at that range, but does manage to find one in the form of Showtime. Could get a double here as well. Bolts does take him down, but that's going to be pretty much all she wrote for this round, as Henny is the last remaining player with the silent USP coming in the back now. But there it is, Guardian takes him down. They find number 8 here, 13 plays 8, and I think that Tempo Storm should be taking another eco as well. They've got about 3,500 average on the team, so it'll be a partial buy, meaning they just get some upgraded pistols, and looking like they're going to have HQs as well. We saw this actually on Overpass. Go for that airstrike kind of methodology, wait until the T's execute and try and take off as much damage as you can and then clear up with the pistols.
We'll see how much they can really scraped together. They're definitely invested in to try and make something happen. This isn't a throwaway round by any stretch of the imagination. There's kits present, there's nade. The IEM have got themselves 257s and a P250. So the question is going to be, where do these nades go? And as that, it looks like it's been answered. They do throw a whole lot towards platform and nothing picked up off the aforementioned airstrike. A little tickle to Flamey, he's laughed that off.
Yeah, well now they don't really have much to work with in terms of a setup. They have stacked players towards B at the start of the round, but actually focusing more towards A now. It's Flamey that opens things up, takes down Phelps, and now that's pretty much the round over, Alex. All the stack they had and the grenades they once possessed are now gone, and it's looking like that. I was going to say NaVi will be making their way towards the B bomb side, but Zeus and Ed were still towards middle, maybe looking towards an A split once again.
So, assuming this round is over, we'll keep our eyes locked on the screen though, as we do see Zeus just flushing out Henny. You'd assume picking it up, but no, Henny, little quick jump, does continue to survive. But the speculation is, you picked up one round so far on your CT side, Tempo. You know you've had problems in the past against VP as well on the CT side. It took an awful long time to close that game out.
Actually, right? So I think they got 13-2 versus VP, and now they got 12-3 versus NaVi. It's a very similar, like, actual, almost identical scenes here. Like you said, they struggle on their CT half.
What are you doing? What did Tempo decide to bring into this defense? What problems are they encountering? It does just feel like NaVi have basically kind of rinse and repeat, take it slow, do not commit with that bomb anywhere early.
Well, they've got tons of cash to be in next round. A double AWP setup is normally the go-to strategy for when a team's struggling and the rifles aren't working out for them. But to be fair, we've only seen one proper gun round here. That was when Tempo Storm went into it. They win that first one, but then the hard reset coming for that very clever A split from NaVi there. But we'll see where they decide to go. I wouldn't be surprised we saw the double AWP setup and just try to mix things up a little bit. But you can see, round by round, NaVi are getting back into this. One more for double figures. And there's a single AWP coming in from Henny. Will he be joined by his teammate? I think they're discussing their buy and how they're going to go forward with this one. So far, just Phelps to remain in the buys.
They have to be glass cannon.
No, he's going to be going with the M4. So going to be just Henny. Has been very influential across the series. Actually top fragging once again. Actually one frag behind Showtime. He's got 19 though. Still an impressive performance.
So many newer names turning up here in CSGO. Henny definitely one of them. We're seeing him flourish here on the stage of Katowice. Quarterfinals, if you have just joined us, and Guardian has taken down Lucas early. Already having to operate at a disadvantage is not what Tempo ordered. They were trying to force the issue, try and take something from NaVi early, and I can't help but feel that was a little bit risky.
A team that's slow-paced as NaVi, and you're just facing completely dry on the upper platform with a potential Guardian winning over an AWP, that's an absolute suicide play there. Didn't really have anything to work with. Jumps up, simple shot for Guardian to land, and that's a little bit disappointing there for Lucas. That's 5 and 4, still have something to work with here, still have that Henny AWP, and he could find a player there. Narrowly misses out, but it's going to be Zeus now with control of danger and giving them many options as well. They're trying to peel away CDs from that B bomb site. As you can see, Bolt system connector. They're trying to work out which direction this is going in.
Guardian already just, slaying Lucas has really put a little bit of a thorn in the side of Tempo. He's trying to hold this one at a disadvantage against a team that just seems to be playing so much as a unit, such synergy from NaVi and Bolt. If he just does choose to go aggressive here, that's going to cost him. You can see seized with that pre-aim. 35 seconds now. Phelps has to deal with this aggressive platform push. He's going to be vulnerable from his behind, though. If Bolt doesn't hold this, he does take one. Guardian still to be dealt with, and Edward has dealt with Showtime, and it's going to be Phelps falling. Tempo are dissolving, and NaVi now surely going to pick this one up unless Henny does go off. The bomb hasn't gone down. There's only 18 seconds left, so it's more of a hunting mission. He's going to be pressured from behind, though. He's going to be wrapped around. He surely needs to go down. Finally, Edward does answer a lot of our prayers, and that is going to be NaVi with 10. And I do see a pause coming out. Is that tactical? We will discover. It was Tempo that called it. Tempo perhaps needing to readdress some of these issues. It is going to be poor tactics. Okay, 13-10 the score.
Yep, this is getting to the scary point now. They still need 2 more rounds here on their CT side to actually secure just overtime. So the money is in disarray right now, about 3K average or a 4th stage loss bonus. And it seems like they're making a lot of mistakes here. They're trying to end it as quickly as they can. We saw Lucas there jumping up by himself on the upper platform with no flashbang, no smoke, nothing, just jumping up and hoping he hits a headshot. You've got Guardian there with the easiest shot of his life, opens it up, and you can see the CTs just don't really have much to work at that point, just falling back and trying to work out how they can approach that situation. But this is almost another guaranteed round for NaVi here. This will put them on to number 11. But the money will be strong next round after this for Tempo Storm, and that's when they need to start maybe experimenting a little bit more. Maybe that double AWP setup. Sometimes an auto sniper can be very viable on Cobble. Just at the back of the B platform, the back of the chicken coop in the back of B.
We saw VP pulling it out in this very matchup.
It can be a very viable weapon, absolutely. So maybe they need to be a bit more creative here. Maybe try something like that. Maybe go for a boost and drop down, try and find that first frag. But so far, their ideas have been pretty lackluster. And we saw this, yes, like you said, yesterday against VP. They had a great first half, but their CT side seems where they struggled the most. But we'll see what they can do here. The score is currently 7-1 in favor of NaVi, just dropping that initial gun round. And you would assume not much purchase for Tempo Storm coming out of this pause. It's going to be 5-7s and some P250s, it seems like. A smoke and a HE purchased. If they were to force bind the situation, it would be an absolute nightmare for them, so I'm glad they haven't.
So if Tempo fall in this next round, it's going to completely mimic how Natus Vincere's CT side went. It's going to be exactly the same. You know, you'd get those initial 3, then you get hard reset, then they pick up 5 back-to-back. This is how Tempo's T side went, and then the hard reset came in again. Tempo, they're going to have to do one better. They're going to have to do what Navi couldn't. Not this round, but the next.
This is a common trend for Cbble, Alex. We see this a lot of times, even when you have these fantastic first halves. You're never done until it's done. You need to find number 16. And a team like Navi on that T side, so strong. They're so good at splitting the bomb sides. Great fakes, got all the nades on the map as well. They're absolute masters of this. And we'll see whether Guardian can actually start stepping up here. Had a very quiet series so far. Currently started on 15 frags. And we'll see where this next round goes. They've had the opportunity to pause as well. Looking like a faster race player this time. They actually have got no presence towards B whatsoever. Guardian is peeking over towards smoke, in towards mid. And it is a full eco coming in from Tempo Storm, so not really expecting too much this round, I have to say.
And in a situation like this, that's when the aggressiveness we saw from Lucas on the buy would have been rewarded. You'd immediately get some information. The platform was quiet, was clear, and rotations could happen a little earlier, but that's not what Tempo have done. And now, actually, the information is going to be provided by Henny, who hasn't had to really take a bullet in order to make a big call. He knows at least 2 players from Navi are on towards that long area. Seized is going to be the one to draw first blood, finally connecting onto Henny towards danger. Now Tempo are on the way. I mean, this is going to be a lot of long-distance exchanges that they really cannot make an impact with. Pistols that they've brought. And as I say that, Phelps makes me eat my words as he takes the head of Zeus clean off. How much more can they build out of this one, though? 2 players are incredibly low from Navi, and they are going to have to be quite cautious here.
This is the thing. They've actually taken a lot of damage, and they've actually committed at this stage. The bomber's down in the open as well. Guardian, the only player on 100 HP, trying to step up in this situation now. Will be checking towards cannons. Doesn't find anyone just yet, but should be taking this play down the bomb, so that kind of neutralizes the situation. Flamey chimes in as well, and they secure this round. Just showtime remaining, but it got a bit uncomfortable there.
A sigh of relief for Navi fans everywhere, as that will be then going the way to number 11. Guardian, I like that swap up as well. You saw a heavily tagged up Edward. He's like, give me your AK, and I'm going to go slay.
He was the only high HP player in that situation. You go, I'll be the point man here. I'll make things happen. Gets from the bomb site, finds the pistol players there, and opens it up for them. So they managed to avoid any awkward situations there as we enter round number 25 now. Here we go, Alex, the double AWP setup. This is what we're saying when you're in a rut. This is what you normally do to kind of salvage the situation.
And this is the round Navi couldn't win. This is the round that put them into that downward spiral. And this is what Tempo need in order to secure 14, but also to get just that extra step closer to a third map. This is our second overpass going the way of Natus Vincere. The first quarterfinal of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. Battling for $250,000. The old major prize pool. Madness.
Well then, like Henny is going to open up, almost gifted a frag there. Flamey not even checking danger in any sort of capacity. Normally, 90% of teams will smoke that off before they cross towards middle, like almost consistently every round, but now it is Flamey that is dropped. And Henny can fall back into this more passive mentality. They don't want to give a single frag away here, as Lucas finds Seized as well. This is actually looking very promising indeed. This switch up off their buy with the double AWPs has opened things up, and now you can see the CTs readjusting themselves. Don't want to be in those close choke points, want to sit back and make the Ts work for this.
So that's a whole lot of the hard work done. The hard graft is not done yet, though. 3 members of Navi still have air in their lungs, and Guardian's going to be... Oh, this is actually going to be really interesting if Guardian walks into Henny, because we saw what happened when Guardian did this before. On the other side of things, he's going to miss the shot, but fortunately, Henny is still going to be going potentially for an APC peek. Flashes himself in, backs away now with 35 seconds. That bomb is going to kind of commit towards A, and Tempo know it. Look at this stack, all 5 almost prepared for this A side. Just as I say that, does look like Showtime and Lucas getting a little paranoid. 25 seconds, and here come the execute with the remaining 3 Navi players.
There we go then. This all comes down to this round. Huge for Tempo Storm to take down. Henny getting his second as well, gets the third, and now it's just going to be Zeus as Phelps takes him down. And finally, after the pause, they've readjusted themselves. Double AWPs come out, and it's Henny that steps up once again and takes them over the line. They get to number 14 now, and they still manage to keep a lot of weapons here. So the hard reset won't be such an issue. It's definitely a possibility going forward, but they've managed to keep a lot of players alive there. And like I said, it was Flamey who gave away that first frag. Very weird decision for him just to walk into that area and not even be thinking that might be a possibility, but there we go.
Yeah, now you can't help but wonder, where did Navi go from that? They had an issue with A. Henny will try exactly the same peek this time. No Flamey making the same mistake at this time. On the other side of things, though, Guardian begging and praying that Lucas makes the same mistake again. I think he's definitely learned from his previous shortcomings, and you can see a much more passive tempo on the B site.
Well, we'll have a look as NaVi slowly make their way towards the B site here. Just Guardian once again hoping someone jumps into his crosshair, but like you said, I don't think they'll be making that same mistake just yet. And the time's ticking away now. We're homing in on the 1 minute mark. You can see 3 players ready towards the B-bomb site. We have got Showtime at the back of the chicken coop with the AWP as well, just to be smoking off and buying them a little bit more time here. As all 5 players for NaVi now are pretty much committed, looking like they're going for a wall of smoke execute here. And this could be interesting considering the CTs have 2 orbs here to try and retake.
Phelps back is turned, as is Lucas. They're kind of in a bit of a dire strait. If they do push in here, that's going to be all onto Showtime. What can you hit? My main man, that's a full 5 flash. They're all blind, and Showtime, he does have his eyes on the mark. Could be a second, but it does whistle past absolutely everyone. How does that happen? Fortunately, Phelps and Lucas are delivering in a big way. Tempo, this could be 15. This could be a huge sigh of relief for them, but no, not just yet. Flamey's still standing, and Flamey finally bites the dust. Phelps and the entirety of Tempo want to take us into a 3rd map, and now they are just 1 round away. There's a whole lot of money for NaVi, but just 1 round is all they need in the remaining 3.
Just perfect utility usage there from Tempo Storm. You saw from NaVi, once they committed all 5 players to that long tunnel, they couldn't really justify waiting there. They don't know who's pushing behind them, they don't know where the intel's coming from the CTs, and it just worked out so perfectly there for Showtime. Flashbang's coming in really well from his teammates there. Picks up 1, it doesn't even matter who missed the first shot. They've got so much time, so much setup there, and it works out perfectly for them. They hit number 15, and that's the pressure release. Like he said, just 1 more required, and we'll see how this one goes down. The camera going a little bit crazy in NaVi's booth. Maybe someone got a bit crazy.
Maybe he's a bit weak-legged, you know. He's getting a bit weak at the knees. He's a big NaVi fan, that cameraman. But no, back into the action. Stop getting distracted, because Tempo are just 5 kills away from Mirage, from pushing NaVi to a 3rd map. Henny doesn't quite hit that shot this time, something he's had no problem doing in the past. It's Zeus again. Zeus has been consistently applying pressure towards this A site. Doesn't matter where they end up in the end, Zeus still towards danger, still taking long control. And Henny, it just felt like a bit of a battle of wits between the 2 of them.
Well, there it is. Once again, very slow play from NaVi coming in, not really committed to anything just yet. We have got Zeus, has made it towards almost the end of long A here. And once again, it's, actually I was going to say Bolt, it's actually Henny that's actually in that position this time. He'll be holding long A with the AWP. And we'll see where this one goes. Flashbangs go over towards B. And it's looking like it's more of the bait and switch. Maybe there's A split coming in once again from Connector.
Yeah, and Henny's going to be digging his heels in. He's not going to go for extend. He's not going to try and get early intel towards long. Instead, digs his heels in. But we're in eyes with Flamey, because he's the one that could potentially make a huge impact alongside C's, because they're going to pop out and drop. This feels quite similar to what Tempo did, but Phelps is back. Now 4, could very well be 3 if Flamey's not careful. He's down to 3 points of health. Aggressive plays from Edward does slice Henny down to size, but it's not over yet for Tempo. They have got this retake available to them. There's very little nades. In fact, I take it back. There's none, as the final flash is expended. And NaVi dig their heels in.
Well, it's looking like they're going to be bowing out of the round. Tempo Storm, full save coming in, and that A split seems to be so effective. Tempo Storm not really sure how to handle it right now. There's a lot of presence shown towards B with a couple of smokes and some flashbangs. That pulls a player out Connector. They go for the jump out the window, find that first frag. It's seized this time, and the A split's so effective. We just have Henny there, stuck in that fence position once again. That's the position that's actually letting Tempo Storm down a little bit. Like, they haven't got someone on the site that can stay alive. He's getting taken down as the split comes in. They're getting pincered from long A and towards Connector as well. And it's proving to be a real problem here for Tempo Storm. So they do win 2 rounds in a row, but saving these 2 weapons means they do have a decent buy coming into the next.
Yeah, and it's just seeing late drop room present from the T side being exploited. We saw Seized and Flamey doing that oh so well, and it just causes complete havoc for a CT side trying to retake on the A site when there's 2 Ts right under your skin, right behind enemy lines. Working well for NaVi.
Well then, we're into round number 28. This is going the distance here. 3 required for NaVi to do this. You can see the buy's not actually as strong as potentially predicted. You can see 2 Famises coming in for Bolts and Phelps. And he's still on the AWP though, so let's see what Guardian can bring to the table here. Once again, waiting for any aggression to come towards that upper platform, but there's actually a 4-man stack once again from Tempo Storm. This time, Henny towards long A this time. Not going to be so passive towards that fence. He actually will be going very aggressive towards the initial choke point there, but he's got no backup once again. This was the problem for Guardian. Can he have the awareness to control the situation? But once again, it's looking like NaVi going in for a heavy B attack. And it's quite a defensive setup from the CTs as well as they try to retake drop.
Oh, they could very well be feeding themselves into the guillotine that is C's, but no, huge connection from Phelps. That double was so crucial, and now just 3 remain for NaVi. 3 kills away from Mirage, but Tempo's not going to be easy. Guardian still breathing. Edward looking to go aggressive. In fact, all of them are. The Molotov just cook Edward half alive. He's only got 25 points of health, and he is going to kind of count on what Zeus and Guardian can do to try and break through. That was one of the few remaining nades NaVi do possess, as Showtime's going to be the first on the chopping block, first to be tested. AK, the AWP. And it's going to be Guardian who wins out.
Here we go then. Guardian salvaging something in this round. Looking for more though, still has 40 seconds. Teammates making their way towards drop down. Drop bolts as well. And now it comes down to a 3-on-2. The man advantage. NaVi have recovered the round. Just Henny remains with that AWP. Can't stop the bomb being planted, and out of nowhere, Tempo Storm dropped the round. They're looking so promising for them after that drop down retake. And it's just a very clinical procedure there from Guardian. Finds the opening kills. That's enough to get the distraction. And if players coming towards drop down, and just Henny remains.
Zeus is not losing this yet, and actually Henny could very well be losing his AWP if he's not too careful. There is some pressure being applied.
He needs to save his AWP as well.
This is crucial. It's actually going to come down to a little bit of a 1v1. He's heavily tagged up, trying to actually connect the final P250. Audacious from Guardian, he does. As he finishes the job he started with that AWP bullet, and it will be taking that AWP away. You were saying that he needs to keep that one, needs to preserve it. You can see what that's done to the economy now.
This is the thing. They're at second stage loss bonus right now, so not really much to... There's like $1,900 coming into your account, right? If they save the AWP on map like Cobble, it's very, very effective. You can go for that first pick and sort of funnel the terrorists to where they're going. You can see Flamey actually reading the situation very well. He's picked up the MP7, farming for those easy kills and the money, but it's not really going to matter considering how much they've got right now. But this is it. It's going to come down to the last round, presumably, considering the buy Tempo Storm have got. Literally only got 2 PT50s to work with, and NaVi have done the impossible, got themselves back into this game after a 12-3 deficit.
Yeah, I mean, Tempo, an incredible T side, but they seem to be falling into the same traps that VP did lay out to them on that CT side here on Cobble before. Picked up the win eventually, but this time, minimum for Tempo. If they want to pick up the win, it's going to have to happen with, well, pistols potentially. No, not going to happen as Guardian continuing to collect some funds. That's going to be with the MP7 of Flamey. Covering the AWP as well. Things are going really, really well for NaVi at this point in time. They've only conceded 1, and it looks like it could end that way as well.
Oh, this is going to be the round pretty much tied up. Lucas doing what he can from the balcony. They're joined by Bolts as well, but he should be dealt with. And there it is. NaVi arrive at number 14, and all roads lead here, Alex, as we enter round number 30. Can Tempo Storm take this in regulation, or are we going to overtime? Looking at them buy, I think it might be the latter.
And I think Katowice wants to see an overtime. Listen to the chant begin. It's not ideal for Tempo as well. 2 FAMAS as they've cobbled together everything they possibly can. And their very best to break through here. And this next round means so much. That overtime can't help but lean towards the boys from Natus Vincere. Tempo, you want to do it now, if you're going to do it. 3-2 split for the CTs.
That hard reset of overtime is such a bitter pill to swallow, especially when you went up 12-3 in the first half. You feel like, wow, we've given them a lifeline back into this now. We really should have capitalized there. Let's see what they can do here. It's Lucas that finds the first frag, somehow seized, giving his head for sale as he is dropped, and it's now a 5-on-4. They still have to deal with Guardian though, but they're going to be locking the T's out for now with the smoke towards drop down. Flamey trying to salvage something here, but that's enough. Tempo Storm can now fall back into that passive mentality we discussed before.
Lucas wants this challenge. He's constantly considering another challenge towards drop room. Flamey's the one that would welcome it. Seeing that consistent smoke just thrown out to enable Flamey to just have to kind of process of elimination. Here comes the challenge, and goodbye Lucas. That's his head gone. Punished by NaVi. Now Guardian surges forward. He's going to be first on the scene, and that's going to be Showtime gone down. A huge connection from Guardian. And now just 3 remain for Tempo. It's the FAMAS as well. It's not great. Bolts is still locked in at A. It is essentially a 2v4 at this point in time.
This is it. They still have time to play as well. Using smokes correctly, just trying to get this bomb down uncontested. But we have got Henny and Phelps on the other side, trying to do what they can, trying to cause some chaos here. We've got Phelps pushing through, but it's Henny that gets dropped first by Flamey. Now it's just down to Phelps. He's dropped as well. We're going to overtime. Bolts left in a 4-on-1. Nothing to welcome as well, and NaVi have done it. Somehow, after losing 12-3, they come back fighting in the second half, and that's got to be so difficult for Tempo Storm to understand what just happened.
A 12-3 half in their favor. They only needed 4 rounds on that defensive side, but it was not to be, and NaVi are going to be taking a quick break. Everyone, indeed, needs to take a little bit of a break, a sigh, an exhale, as Tempo They couldn't do it in our main time. They're going to have to try and do it in overtime.
Such a strong showing in that first half as well. Literally identical scenes than what we saw against VP. This time, they're unable to close it out. And for me, that last round, Lucas did so well to get that first pick. And I said, just stop facing at that point. How many times are we going to watch this guy throw rounds away, but just over-facing in certain situations? Yeah. He refaces again. I'm not really sure for what reason. You don't have to face that area. You can just allow them to come out onto the bomb site and then have crossfires established there. He faces by himself. He gets dropped, gives flamie an opportunity. And if you give that man an inch, he will take a mile. He actually ends up getting 3 kills that round and looking incredibly strong. flamie on 31 frags. Definitely MVP status there for that young man. But this Tempo Storm now, that hard reset going into overtime is going to be very difficult prospect.
Staying on that flamie subject for a second, I think an awful lot of his success was found on that T side. He played that drop room so consistently and so ridiculously kind of aggressively at points. He basically was forcing Tempo to challenge him out, forcing Lucas into those, well, you already highlighted a questionable challenge, as they just want to get flamie done and dusted. It was him and Seized, in fact, that were primarily present towards drop, and 31 for him, and the rest of the team, the boys from NaVi definitely pulling up their socks on the T side. We are into overtime, and it's going to be coming very, very shortly. Players just preparing themselves.
They were so close in those last 2 rounds as well. They were finding the opening frags, just not quite enough to cross the finish line. I could feel in the last round, they looked a little bit rattled even after finding the first frag, making some very interesting decisions. And this Guardian, that's when he started showing up, when it really counted. That's when Guardian was finding key frags on the site. flamie continuing his strong form throughout this map, but there it is.
Let's just highlight the amount of new firsts for Tempo they're currently experiencing.
Okay, go ahead.
They're on the stage in Katowice, 10,000 people in front of them, staring them down and expecting to see a real show. And we have seen great stuff from Tempo. Throw on top of that, you're playing some of these opponents for the first time. They haven't had opportunities to play against these guys many times. Yes, you've seen them play. Yes, you know what they're going to do. There's no doubt you've got, a coach, Peacemaker behind them. He's definitely, done his homework, and as have they. But this is your first real battle against NaVi. It was their first real battle against many, and there's going to be seeing that replay of Henny saving the day for what could very well have been.
That could have been absolutely nuts if that had happened, right? We could have seen another 5-on-2 in that situation, full defuse. And that's the problem with these kind of stadium events. We've got our voice bellowing through the room. You've got to feel like if we started going crazy in that situation, we could have been the ones that actually let them down for that situation. But luckily we kept quiet. We didn't.
Yeah, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us, Henry. Managed to contain our excitement. If that happened twice, that's something you're not supposed to see once, never mind a second time in the same event. Nice to see it being attempted, though. Seems like people have seen it done, they know it's possible, and are considering it more and more of an option.
So going forward right now, with Tempo Storm, we've had an absolute horror show of a CT half, but so have NaVi. But the thing is, Tempo Storm have got to start the CT this time. They've got to continue that kind of difficult prospect of going forward after receiving a massive battering there. The double AWP setup worked out very well for them. We kind of said before that timeout was taken, that's probably where they should go with it. It's when Showtime at the back of B was doing some big work there, good flashbang. And that's when they were actually at their best. So I feel like that's probably the direction to go in. The double AWP setup, and let's try and get those early picks and just hold back and don't have to overcommit to situations. Once you get that pick, let's fall back. Let's not throw it away. That's been a massive problem for Tempo Storm. It looks like we are going live here, guys. It's going to be overtime here on Cbble. Tempo Storm trying to stay alive in this series. NaVi trying to close it out in 2. So there it is. The double AWP setup does come out for Tempo Storm. Henny and Showtime once again. And NaVi, of course, just Guardian rolling off his. So we'll see how this one goes down as we enter the first round here. It is obviously MR3 and 10K, so economy can be an issue here for the CTs. You need to be careful with this double AWP setup. Obviously one of the most fruitful buys you can bring to the table and can cost you the most money.
Well, with 10K starting money, you're right. And Tempo, they've had problems with their economy on this CT side before. They are taking a gamble, but a gamble that really, at this point in time, they haven't been able to find too many answers on CT. It may very well pay off. Showtime next on towards Edward, down to 37. I mean, that's a step in the right direction, Henry.
It definitely helps as Edward does run off, but it's given away the AWP is back in their hands here, so they can probably adjust their setup and maybe go for that wall of smoke coming in here. You can see Guardian trying to potentially flash off the player there, and it actually worked out perfectly. He manages to get away before the shot is exchanged. And now Henny alone once again towards middle. So if they were to do this fake and the A split we've seen so many times before, it's going to work out perfectly once again. The CT's out of position for this.
They are investing a lot towards drop room as well. We highlighted how powerful flamie was towards that location. He's going to try and do it again. He's got Guardian behind him. Guardian backs away, as does flamie, thanks to the utility usage of Tempo. Time, potentially a factor if they continue to invest this utility. They still have a smoke on Showtime. He can continue to waylay this attack. 35 seconds, Tempo. You can feel that first CT round. It's something that they've struggled so hard to acquire.
Yeah,
and it's at their fingertips. It's 25 seconds away, and Lucas has taken a step in the right direction. That sees, can they take Flamey? The master of drop room is not done just yet.
20 seconds remain. This was a problem for Navi. They've actually committed back towards A as well. 15 seconds remain. Henny just needs to find one kill here just to slow them down enough because they don't like the plant. We hit 10 seconds. Can they actually find the plant? It's not going to happen. They find the first CT round here. Just Flamey and Guardian have nothing to do here whatsoever. So once again, this is when Tempo Storm capitalized, when Navi plays such a slow round that they're not left to many options. That's a really weird decision. It comes down to less than 30 seconds, and then you're rotating back towards A. You have no idea what setup is going on towards there. And it's Henny. I said he had to hit one just to kind of deter them, and he hits it perfectly, and they get the first round here after so many in a row in regulation time.
Well, Tempo, that's more than they really could acquire in regulation. I mean, we saw how few, the 2 CT rounds, they've basically done half of their entire CT half now, and now they're going to try and do one better. Can they really do 2 consecutive rounds? Double up continues. Showtime Smoke played a huge role, just taking that time away. And look at this aggressive stuff from Henny. You said it really is kind of
it's one of those
negative.
Angles, it's really unfavorable for CTs normally, but that smoke helps to cross. The Ts at least don't know you're going to be there. So it works for now, but we'll see how this one goes down for him. At least he gets a lot of intel if he manages to stay there. Showtime on the other side of the map does take down Flamey towards that upper B platform. And once again, it's Tempo Storm. Twice the effect now. 2-man to the good as we go into the 5-on-3 situation. And it's Henny with a fantastic shot there. Blows Zeus out the water, and just Seized and Guardian remain. And this has been a fantastic round. This double AWP setup, so effective. Just the AWP is doing all the work right now.
Tempo Storm, you picked up 3 CT rounds prior to this, and now you've already picked up 2, really. I say picked up 2, that's assuming Seized and Guardian don't do something absolutely mind-boggling. They are starting to set their sights on B. I've already written them out. Let's see if Tempo can finish what they started here in this round. Smoke's going to be going out from Guardian. That's going to enable Seized to perhaps do something, but doubt certainly creeping in. Showtime is going to get flashed out. He's having a lot of problems with this one. Now Guardian's going to be there. When you do see Seized emerge through the smoke, but Guardian's done something. At least stops the perfect round from occurring, but how much more will it be? He's tagged up. Will he get fragged up? He's just going to be hunted down. There's no time, no hope, and Guardian knows it. A little leg shot just to add salt into the wound, and that's going to be it. Henny preserves the AWP, and another round for Tempo.
There it is. This double AWP setup so effective for them. Henny and Showtime delivering the goods there, especially Henny as well. That second shot he got towards long A, isolated by himself, doing some serious work there. And it's just pulled apart Navi right now. First round, they run out of time. This time, they're just getting completely outplayed in terms of the actual approach to the round. You can see how that's affected their economy as well. Guardian gets dropped the AWP by Flamey, and Seized left with just a Tech 9 as well. Not much utility to work with. Edward with literally nothing.
Could this really be the perfect?
Somehow.
I mean, you got 3 in main time. Now we're in overtime. You could very well replicate your score in just 3 rounds. Craziness occurring here in Poland. But indeed, you've got Seized. He's got no armor, just the Tech 9. You can't help but feel they're going to be using that resource to try and keep people at B, while the main body, the main spearhead of the assault tries to pierce Henny. Henny's the one to receive first, and actually this could be a very big connection, but Flamey laughs at him. 1 bullet from his AK, and that's a huge, powerful player removed from the map.
Now just Bolts now. He has smoked out the terrorist. He's actually got a huge opportunity. They're locked out. Edward commits through the smoke, and now his teammates can't join him. And it's going to be Bolts neutralizing the situation down to a 4-on-4. Does decent damage towards Zeus as well. And now they get the crossfire established on the side.
Yeah, and Tempo are very, very comfortable. That crossfire is going to be hard for break, but Flamey does have some flexibility here. No, he doesn't. I told a lie because Bolts was there. 20 points of health, and no problems. 2 for him already. He's done his work. He can die happy in this round. 40 seconds, and now NaVi once again playing from the deficit. This is starting to feel like 3 in a row. I don't want to say it, not going to jinx it, but this could very well be Tempo taking a huge step towards map 3.
Look at this, we have a player towards the balcony. It's actually going to be dropped as Guardian does take down Phelps on the other side. So 3-on-2, still favoring Tempo Storm. Time ticking away now as we hit 20 seconds. And it's going to be Lucas. That should seal the deal here. Bolts gets the final kill. It's 3-0. They get the same amount of rounds in overtime as they did in regulation. That's absolutely insane.
It's mind-boggling, and a big part of that is that double AWP. Showtime's present alongside Henny. Bolt's playing a huge part with that smoke. 4 in that round alone. We said he's an influential player. We haven't seen everything from him prior to this, but honest, when he needs to, he does deliver, and we're now 18 for Tempo. They've got, I mean, they had the strongest T side on Cbble we've seen in a while. Very, very big stuff from them. 12 in regulation. They just need 1.
1 round required. to take us to Mirage. That's all we need here, Alex. And from what we saw in the first half of the game, you'd think they're going to do that hands down. It's up to NaVi now to step up. And there it is, the auto sniper I discussed before. That can be a very effective weapon towards the back of B. We'll see what Flamey's plans are for it. But here we go then. NaVi require a complete 3 rounds here.
A role reversal.
Yeah, you'd think that's a very tall order. It's going to be Guardian stepping up, doesn't land that first shot, but at least gain some intel that the terrorists are there.
Tempo, you can't help but feel there's going to be a little extra pressure mounting for them now, saying we've done it 12 times. We just need to do it once. Hoping that internal monologue doesn't make things a bit more difficult. Nice tag from Guardian onto bots. Can't quite finish the job just yet, though, and you can see that there is a bit of a back and forth, a to and a fro between the defensive and offensive sides. Still so much time and tempo. They've invested everyone. Usually you see one sticking around towards middle, towards A, but no, it looks like they have got the sights set on an A execute, and it is going to be coming out, well, actually a little earlier than anticipated. There's still a smoke present. Are they really going to push her in? No, because Edward is. It's a double. Phelps bites back. How much more can they do? Guardian's close quarters. There's really surely not anything he can pick up in this one. He's got one. How much more can you do? Because Phelps is there, and he's pocketed himself too. The bomb isn't there, and Tempo are going to have a big, big stop sign held in front of them, because look who's guarding that bomb. Zempo? Zeus is holding that one, and now what have you got, Phelps? You found 3, surely not a 4th with just 6 points of health.
They haven't got control of the bomb in this situation. Zeus has locked this down. Great use of the utility. They're kind of focusing and trying to find this second kill. They're seeing if that's an opportunity, but time ticking away. I don't think Flamey will be gifting that one from just yet, but apparently he is. What is this? Why is he giving the kill away? They had to go and get the bomb, but he presented himself there. Now it's a 2-on-1 favoring Tempo Storm just this round to take the map, and they've done it. Somehow that 2-on-2 works in their favor. NaVi having control of the bomb, an absolute blunder from Flamey there. And what a massive way to do it in overtime. 4-0. And we're going to Mirage, Alex.
Back to back. Bolts gets 4 on the end of the CT side. T side, Phelps delivers 4 of his own. And Tempo Storm are pushing this series to the final map. It will be on Mirage. And NaVi, they wanted to get that done nice and neat and tidy, but the Brazilians, they have something to say. The winner of this one meets Luminosity. Could it really be Tempo getting even closer to meeting, well, we described them as their teacher, their kind of sensei in one part.
Absolutely.
Bringing them over to North America, and look at Tempo go.
What a sign of mental fortitude that is. After having such a difficult second half, to readjust yourself, work out what was working for you. We kind of speculated that's what they would go to, right? That's what they do. They did a double orb setup, and it's just so effective. Showtime, Henny going absolutely nuts there with the AWPs. They get 3-0 there on the CT half, where they only found 3 in regulation time. And they actually pick up the last one with a very interesting clutch. I have to say, once you had that bomb locked down towards the B halls, you feel like Flamey, the time ticking away as it is, he doesn't need to face at all. He can just sit in the connected doors, and as soon as the communications come in that the bomb's been detained, that's when you can kind of show, make things uncomfortable. Don't give your head away before that's even happened.
And it was Phelps who, I mean, the fact that he was the one hunting it down with 6 points of health, and he's like, oh, hi, full health Flamey, goodbye, full health Flamey.
Deleted.
And a round that really could have gone and should have gone the way of NaVi, but great work from Tempo. I mean, a 4-0 overtime suggests that, I mean, this is a team we assumed would have trouble when the pressure mounted. When you're in an overtime scenario, you've got 10,000 people staring you down. And now we have got a Mirage ahead of us. This series is not done yet, and we're going to head over back to the experts to break down what was a terrific game of CSGO.
Thank you so much, guys. An incredible game at that, I have to say. Tempo Storm looked like they were out to a very, very commanding lead and potentially an easy win. That didn't exactly come that way, though, because NaVi fought back in the second half, and it took overtime, but they do get there. We'll start off in the first half. We have to. Lauren, you touched on it. They have good T sides. You talked about drop, but that time I have to say it was a lot of platform that was the issue at B.
Yeah, there was a variety of things actually paying off, and drop wasn't one of them for once, and it was more impressive that they were able to adapt and then come over the top of that and get away with it still. You saw Phelps having a wonderful half. Maybe not just, you know, score-wise, he wasn't necessarily at the top, but the kills he was getting were pretty imperative. Their splits were good, the hits towards the side were good, and to be fair, NaVi weren't able to quite deal with him at that point, so it was actually quite impressive to watch. But to me, my main point was, have NaVi gone back and watched how their previous games went down, and from what I saw, I don't think they particularly had anything more than what NaVi normally bring to the plate there.
I like that you touched on Phelps as well, because his kill total wasn't great the first half, but we saw to get an overtime, his entry potential in that position. Moses as well, Guardian. better CT half than we've seen from him at events like Star Ladder and whatnot, but it was Henny again that showed up.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily the battle between the two of them so much. I mean, Henny's coming out on top a lot of those, but it's more so the fact that Henny's controlling the rest of Guardian's teammate. That AWP is wreaking havoc on the other 4 members outside of Guardian, even when they don't meet up in a one-on-one. And Guardian's kind of, he's got to find some way to take control the way we like to see him do it. Flamey had no one to back him up in this map.
And you had a couple rounds that you highlighted as well with some specifics.
Yeah, I mean, the problem here is that in the first half, NaVi went through the nightmare scenario regarding their economy, right? They lost the pistol round, win the first gun round, get their money system reset right after that. Worst thing is they keep force buying. When that happens, trying with pistols and armor just to do something, you know. The round that decided the game, in my eyes, is the 11th round, actually, you know, when it was just after NaVi won a round, and they also had an advantage in it. So I'm not sure if we have a replay of that.
There
yes,
it is,
we have.
right there.
So there it is. So as you can see here, at this point, NaVi's in a 4v3 situation. They had some great early aggression. They actually had 5 players towards the B bomb site. But Guardian here, even though they didn't have any map control, still goes for this peak. Now, this doesn't look like a big deal, right? But the point is, they had no one towards A long. So this is a great shot from Henny, of course. But in a situation like this, it's better to play it passively, defensively, you know, play it safe, because you cannot allow to lose that round. They had to eco after that, and, you know, he dies, Zeus is, and they know that Guardian wasn't, you know, alone in that bomb site, because he doesn't, usually is the player on rotate towards B. They knew that someone else is there. They cleared out Zeus as well, won that round. In the end, it was a 12-3 half for Tempo Storm. If that round went the other way, NaVi could have gotten more in the first half, which in the end would have given them the win.
With the scoreline, it exactly would have. Second half, though, we focus on that now. The pistol round even started off well for Tempo Storm. They had the first kill. They had the man advantage down at 4 versus 3, and then an explosion by NaVi, and a lot of momentum shifted. Obviously, nerves a bit of a factor, I think, for Tempo Storm potentially.
I mean, nerves, and I mean, people saying, like, you have to realize NaVi has one of the best T sides on Cbble in the world against any team. You consistently see them putting, but even if they get 4 or 5 rounds on their CT side, they still manage to win 11, 12, 13 rounds on their T side consistently. Yep. So it was always going to be difficult for Tempo Storm on their CT side.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it was just the nerves that really came in were in overtime for NaVi, which is really surprising for an experienced team. First round, they time out and they lose the round, which we see so often. When's that going to stop? Second round, you see Flamey pick up an AWP and try an entry in under the A bomb site. So, I mean, it's just those kind of decisions were so curious for me for a team that normally you see very poised.
The only thing that came to mind was how well NaVi were doing those A splits too. They were absolutely flawless, and it was Lucas on the CT side, maybe a bit of over-aggression, and Flamey consistently punishing him after the 1-for-1 trades. Instantly, then NaVi worked off the back, and you saw it getting so close after that.
I mean, problem is people are harping on Lucas or whoever was there as well, re-picking drop after they got the advantage, but it's so hard to hold drop. And NaVi was punishing them for passive drop control by doing that A split, smoking them off, and then just, you know, overwhelming Henny on the A side. So, you know, they have to react somehow. They tried to double pick it as well, but yeah, Flamey was really dominant there, although C's was getting really bullied in this game.
Yeah, I agree. We haven't really touched on Showtime's contribution, but obviously he was great. The double op setup as well in overtime was amazing. But with that said, we've got to move forward. That overtime means that it was a long game, and we've got one more to go. It's Mirage that'll be coming up. We'll talk about that in just a second, but only before, or rather only after, we talk to OJ.
Thank you very much, Matthew. And thank you very much for all the tweets that have been coming in at IEM, hashtag IEM. A load of questions going on there. And lots of people asking me to ask questions as well. You can do that either via those two Twitter handles or me, which is at OJ Borge. One of them, for instance, is, can I ask Creamy Moses why there's 2 Brazilian teams here doing so well and no North American teams? He's all the way up there, but I will endeavor to ask him in just a second. Also, we've been asking you to tweet us pictures of where you're watching the stream from, whether you're here in the Spodek in Poland or you're around the world, and there's been fantastic ones coming in. The first one we're going to show you comes in from Destrus, who says he has taken, still here, taken a week off work to watch this. That's how you do it, watching the stream there with a week off work. Then there's a name that I can't work out on Twitter, who's watching this in school. Obviously, do your studies, but a bit of shirking hurted nobody. And finally, Mayumu, who is here watching it from the stands. Keep those coming in as well at IEM, hashtag IEM. So then, We're about to head to a break. Coming back, we're going to see the final of these maps. And it has been absolutely fascinating to see this fantastic Brazilian team who's got through the qualifying, the biggest stage they've ever been on, against one of the best teams of the world. Who's going to win it? Well, we've had a Twitter poll going on. What does that Twitter poll say? We'll find out after the break.
My heart, it beats like a bass drum. Come on, let me get some. Never gonna back down. Never gonna break, won't bend now. Tonight there's gonna be a showdown. Tonight there's gonna be
If your PC is dated and